Grand Rising people, welcome to Vantum Vitality. We'll be discussing news, tips, and takes on health, wealth, and the world at large. Here's your crypto news update. Starting off with the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin is having a good day today, up 4.8% at 43,773. Ethereum is having an even better day, up 7% at $3,344.29. As for the fear and greed index, we are up just 1 point today, still at extreme fear, but a slow gain is a slow gain. Still blood on the streets technically, so still a good time to buy in if you want to buy in, not financial advice. Looking to do that the same. So let's go into the stories for today. So, first story for today. Investors seek criminal charges after $3.6 billion in Bitcoin was stolen in South Africa. So victims of a massive Bitcoin theft last summer are now demanding criminal charges against two brothers in South Africa. So let's read on. It says Rais and Amir Kaji, the brothers behind crypto platform AfroCrypt, have not been seen since the two allegedly made off with $3.6 billion in Bitcoin last summer. And amid the recent dip in markets, pegging the stolen sum now at $2.9 billion, victims are demanding criminal charges be made. We are pushing for the brothers to be charged with fraud, theft, possibly money laundering. Sean Price of Coast to Coast Special Investigations, who is representing some of the victims, said during a Bloomberg interview they can get 10 or 15 for a first-time offense, he said. Pierce did clarify that a final decision to go forward with the prosecution has not yet been made. Rashad Musa, AfroCrypt's lawyer, has reportedly said that prosecution would be difficult to pursue because investors signed agreements to transfer claims to Dubai-based firm called Peniton Project Management LLC, which sounds very scammy. The Dubai firm then offered investor payouts, and Musa claimed that the investors no longer hold the right to any interest. That doesn't even sound right. The AfroCrypt theft. Let's get into it now. So what happened? Last summer, about 69,000 Bitcoin in investor funds were reported missing from the exchange, and the KG brothers that operated the exchange also vanished. AfroCrypt ceased operations in April 2021 when Bitcoin was approaching the then all-time high of 64,000, citing a breach in systems. Investors were told not to report the incident to authorities because it would allegedly make it harder to recover the funds. Shortly after, the two brothers allegedly transferred the funds using coin mixing services to obfuscate the funds sources, or the funds source. The location of the KG brothers is still unknown. At the beginning of the saga, some speculation suggested that they fled to the United Kingdom. So basically, hearing what's going on in this story, we have a lawyer who is representing the people who were scammed by these people, because that's clearly what just happened. They were scammed. If you were paying attention to what I was just reading, you can see that clearly these people were scammed. They waited until the Bitcoin price hit 64,000 to say that there was a breach in their systems, pulled all of this money out, which wound up being around $3.6 billion, and disappeared. And no one has heard from them since. No one knows where they are. There's speculation they might be in the United Kingdom. But at this point, with that amount of money, these people can literally, if they're dark skinned, they literally can bleach their skin, get plastic surgery, and then walk around and get a new identity, all for just a smidgen of that money. So they don't have to do anything. So there's a possibility that these people may never receive their money ever again, which is, the lesson here is never ape into, things before doing your own research. Always do your own research. Always look into these projects. Always look into the people. Nowadays in the crypto community, we have all these people who, they start these projects, but they have experience in other places. And that's actually one factor that when you're looking at new projects, will give you a leg up. If you look at the LinkedIns of the people who, if they even have a LinkedIn, and if you look at the people's LinkedIns who are creating these projects and these exchanges and these services. And when you see their background and you see their face and you see who they really are, then at least if they scam you in that situation, you know you did your due diligence and you know that there really was, like, you did everything that you can do. Because the reality of the situation is, it doesn't even matter. You can do everything that you can do. Sometimes people can still get scammed. But at the end of the day, when we look at this situation, $3.6 billion, they, let the exchange grow, and then they just pulled it. They just rug pulled the whole entire thing. It's so clear. So I agree with this guy that's saying that they should be pursuing criminal charges against these people. I don't see why it took them so long to even, think that they should pursue criminal charges if $3.6 billion in South Africa just, mysteriously vanishes after the exchange says, oh, we had a breach, like, and oh, don't report it to authorities. Like, come on, they told you not to report it to authorities and they told you that there was a breach. That was a clear scam. So hopefully these people get found. Hopefully these brothers get found and they get arrested and that the funds are recovered. But I'm not honestly optimistic that that would happen if these people are missing and they have $3.6 billion, as what I've mentioned before: plastic surgery, skin bleaching, buying passports on the black market, buying new identities on the black market. They don't have to do anything anymore now. Now they can be anywhere and they can just be on the run for the rest of their lives, especially with the world being so big. So it would have to take somebody on some real catch me if you can Interpol stuff to really find them. So let's move on to the next story. We have Jack Dorsey announcing a legal defense fund for Bitcoin developers. The fund's first task will be to assist developers facing a lawsuit from Tulip Trading Limited, the firm associated with Craig S. Wright. And if you don't know who Craig Wright is this guy who keeps saying that he's Satoshi Nakamoto and he's going to court and he's doing all this stuff. And it's like, at this point, and I'm going to make a video about my thoughts about the whole Satoshi Nakamoto situation. But at this point, it's like, dude, just let it go. Like, you're not Satoshi, and we all know you're not Satoshi. Like, we've already been through this whole entire thing. And also the other thing is, what do you have to gain by saying that you're Satoshi Nakamoto? If anything, it's a horrible thing to say that you're Satoshi Nakamoto, because you have so much people who can come for you, people who lost a bunch of money on Bitcoin, banks, central banks, people who are against Bitcoin, people like Janet Yellen, Christine Lagarde, Jerome Powell, all their friends. Like, why would you even want those problems for yourself? But let's read. The founder and CEO of Block, Jack Dorsey, announced plans to create a Bitcoin Legal Defense Fund, a nonprofit initiative entity tasked with providing a legal defense for Bitcoin developers, which is currently the subject of multi-front litigation. The proposal was announced in an email sent to the Bitcoin developers mailing list on January 12th. The Bitcoin Legal Defense Fund is a nonprofit entity that aims to minimize legal headaches that discourage software developers from actively developing Bitcoin and related projects such as the Lightning Network, Bitcoin privacy protocols, and the like, wrote Dorsey. The letter stressed that the fund is not seeking to raise additional money for its operations. It may, however, do so at the discretion of the board if needed to further legal action or to pay for staff. Dorsey stepped down as Twitter CEO at the end of November 2021. Currently, he heads Block, formerly known as Square, the financial payments firm, which recently has been experimenting with crypto-related ideas, including a decentralized exchange for trading Bitcoin and other digital currencies. Apart from Dorsey, the email was signed by Chaincode Labs co-founder Alex Morcos and academic Martin White, who both joined the former Twitter boss on the fund's board. So we got this story right here. Jack Dorsey is setting up a legal fund for Bitcoin developers to protect them from any form of litigation, especially from people like Craig Wright, which is good, which shows that, ultimately, I wrote this in my blog a while back about my thoughts about Jack Dorsey and why I thought he should leave Twitter and focus more on Square and the stuff he was doing in crypto. And it's good to see that, at least, what I wrote into the universe, is starting to come into fruition. And I thought it was an obvious decision. Like, I figured that it was gonna happen because if you see what Twitter was, and I don't think personally, I can't blame Jack Dorsey for what Twitter has become as the toxic hellhole that it is. Ultimately the problem is not the platform. The problem are the people using the platform. And it's not that Twitter is toxic, it's that people are toxic. And the most toxic people who love to use Twitter, like the most toxic narcissistic people who just love to see their own thoughts and love to just put down others to make themselves look better, are the people who use Twitter. But those are the people who also use like Reddit or other forms of social media. Any form of digital communication, we're going to have these problems. But I can see the level of stress that was putting upon him, especially when he had to meet Trump. He had to go and sit down at congressional hearings. He had to do all that stuff. And now with this, it's going to be a little bit more fun. And at the same time, he's going to have to, deal with the litigation on the side of crypto, which he'll be more passionate about speaking on behalf of. And having a fund that has volunteer and part-time lawyers is good, especially for anyone who is a younger lawyer who wants to get into this and who wants to be, a part of protecting developers in the cryptocurrency space. So I think it's great that he's dropping this, and I think that Square is ultimately gonna be, a company that is somebody to Block, excuse me, because he changed it, he expanded it to Block, which is another cool idea. It went from Square and now it's expanding to a Block, but I think it's a good idea. And I think that soon we're going to be seeing that more and more, because ultimately what's going to happen is more and more small businesses especially are going to be able to accept cryptocurrency thanks to Block, because they already have the POS systems, they already have the Square POS systems all over the place. So ultimately what I'm thinking is we're going to be seeing, Cash App, having the ability to spend the crypto and spend the Bitcoin, at least at the very least, spend the Bitcoin that you have in certain places, which, that's up to you. If you want to spend your Bitcoin, you can. Other people don't want to spend their Bitcoin. Other people look at it as like, more valuable. They don't want to really move in and spend it like that. Other people don't, it depends. If you can do it, you can do it. And, at least creating some, form of protection, some form of defense around the people who are keeping this network, running is ultimately what you want. So let's move on to the next story, which is something that we were discussing before, which is the NFT prices in correlation with crypto prices. So in this story from Decrypt, they say crypto prices are down while the NFT market remains hot. Here's why. And let's read. It says, while Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many other top coins are rebounding today, it's been a rough start for the cryptocurrency market in 2022. Bitcoin is down 16% over the last 2 weeks. Ethereum has lost 20% of its value in the same span, and Solana has crashed 27% during that span. For some, it's a potential sign of a crypto winter ahead, but you wouldn't know it by looking at the NFT market. NFT collectibles have been flying in recent weeks, with leading marketplace OpenSea already racking up $2.29 billion worth of Ethereum trading volume so far in January. OpenSea's all-time monthly record was just over 3.4 billion last August. At this pace, January could smash that tally. Wow. So while Bitcoin is down and Ethereum is down, NFTs are still selling for more and more, which is showing that it's creating a market within itself, which is what I did say. I did say that if you watch the previous videos that I was making, you'll see that I did say that NFTs were creating a market within itself, because you don't actually need crypto to even buy an NFT. You can buy NFTs with fiat money, and you can buy with stable coins too. So let's continue. Over the last year, as the NFT market has rapidly expanded and matured, we've typically seen it run in parallel with cryptocurrency markets. When crypto prices fell off a cliff last May and were well off peak into the summer, NFT momentum appeared to be stalled. And then when crypto prices rebounded in the late summer, the NFT market absolutely exploded. But this time around, the NFT market has not only maintained the level of momentum that started in December, but has soared to potentially greater heights. While OpenSea does not reflect the entire NFT market and is facing hot new rivals, including Looks Rare, it provides a good indication of the current level of trading action and interest in the space. Dragos Dunica, co-founder and chief data officer of blockchain analytics platform DappRadar, told Decrypt that he believes some cryptocurrency holders are taking advantage of top NFT collections' apparent increasing staying power amid the depressed crypto market. He says NFTs are continuing to perform well, not necessarily despite falling crypto prices, but arguably and in part because of that. He said investors are currently getting a discount for the most hyped digital asset class, at least on fiat terms, and as NFTs maintain their upward trend, this discount might turn into a neat return on investment as crypto prices pick up too. While some NFT collections have lost value in USD as the price of Ethereum sinks, others have risen. Popular NFT projects like the Bored Ape Yacht Club and Doodles are surging of late. Both have experienced a sizable recent increase to their respective ETH floor prices, or cheapest available NFT listed on a marketplace, keeping better pace with their USD valuations rather than following the downward recent trend of the cryptocurrency market. So, see it right here. NFTs are continuing to rise in price, even with the crypto prices going down. So, people are still, for lack of a better term, aping into NFTs. I think it's not going to be up to the cryptocurrency market whether the NFT market goes down or not, and it's going to be more of the stock market, as these are being paralleled to fine art. And now we see like Sotheby's auctions, so the ritzy crowd, the Ritz-Carlton, Four Seasons, Park Avenue crowd is starting to look at this a little bit more and look at this on a different level. So it would take like the bigger global markets to drop for the prices of NFTs to really drop. Ultimately, the pedigree projects like Bored Apes, Fidenzas, Doodles, CryptoPunks, those are going to keep going up because those are like, now the name brand legacy projects. And of course, we're going to find more of these projects popping up. I'm definitely going to be making videos about the NFTs that I've found that I think are definitely going to be pumping in the future on different platforms, because the market is going to continue to expand. Market is going to keep going. And ultimately we have all these new stories. We got, this stuff that happened in South Africa. We have Jack Dorsey setting up a defense fund, and we have NFTs continuing to go up in price. So that's the crypto news update for today. I hope you've learned more, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.